Yo, what up folks, TCG here with another Dredge video, this time looking at Sultai or Bug, variation with blue, black and green cards, and it brings some unique tools to the table. So the main gets are Willow, Geist, green for a 1/1 with trample, whenever one of my cards leave your graveyard, it gets a +1/+1 counter, and then when it dies, you gain life equal to its power. This is a couple of things. It provides us with a 1 mana threat that we can start kind of pressuring our opponent with, but our whole deck is based around removing cards from our graveyard. Whether we're using flashback spells, whether we're bringing back Narcomoebas, we've got some Scrappy Scroungers here, Prize Amalgam, Silver Smoke Ghoul, Haunted Dead, all come out of the graveyard. Creeping Chill exiles itself in the graveyard. How does that? Also, your opponent exiles some cards in the graveyard, triggers there too. Pretty nice, pretty nice. Gets big pretty quickly, gives you a trampling threat, which is nice to push damage through. If your opponent plays to the board, it can be, if your opponent's got blockers, quite hard to push damage through. And so Willow Geist helps you close out that way as well. Kind of nice there. We have our 3 1-mana enablers, Merfolk Secret Keeper, Otherworldly Gaze, Stitcher Supplier. These are kind of the core cards of the deck I don't really like cutting. And then at 2, we get some interesting tools. Grisly Salvage is one of the best enablers that we have at the moment, because we don't have breaking and entering in Explorer on Arena. Black and green, reveal the top 5 cards of your library, put a creature or land card from among them into your hand, and then the rest of the graveyard. It helps you dig for your cards you want in the graveyard, but also can get you your Stitch Supplies with a Geist to your hand, or find lands that you need. And then we also have Witherbloom Command. We have a couple more of these on the board. It is a enabler with some flexibility on it. Obviously it's got some versatility on there, modal, all that stuff, but it is worse than our other enablers on the surface. So choose 2 modes, target player mills 3 cards, then you return a land from your graveyard to your hand, obviously targeting yourself there. Destroy target non-creature non-land permanent with value 2 or less. This is why it's so much better, so good out of the board, and so having access to it in these colours is really, really nice, is that it deals with Rest in Peace, but also other non-problematic things as well. And then target creature gets -3/-1 to end a turn. Most of the aggro decks in this format, actually this doesn't kill. It can kill some of the X ones versus mono white, but for example, versus red, all their creatures have at least 2 toughness. But one of the things it does do is that occasionally you can pop your Stitcher Supplier, get some cards to the graveyard that way. And then as this third mode, which is target player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. It's a nice drain, but it's not enough to trigger Silver Smoke Ghoul, at least by itself. But hey, the flexibility's there. We've got 2 copies in the main and another couple in the sideboard. We can cast these off of Founding the Third Path, which is still here. 1 in a blue for a Saga with a Reader Head. So step 1, you cast into sorcery with mana value 1 or 2 from your hand that pay its mana costs. Grisly Salvage with a Bloom Command, both nice ones to cast off of that. Second mode there, target player mills 4 cards. If you don't have something to cast, you can just play it straight away and mill 4. And the third mode basically flashes back a card from your graveyard, but you need to pay the mana for it. We have our Narcomoebas, of course, and then we also have 2 copies of Scrappy Scrounger. Now, the other versions of Dredge that I've kind of posted don't have this card in it, and the real reason why we've got Scrappy Scrounger here is because of Willow Geist. Because you're exiling a card to enable it, and then also returning it from the graveyard to the battlefield, this double triggers Willow Geist, and that in itself is quite powerful. Also just another thing to come out from the graveyard. It's quite nice, but we have had to make some sacrifices to kind of make room for this, the Willow Geist and everything else. And so when we get up to our kind of key cards, obviously we've got 4 copies of Prize Amalgam, best card on the deck, still the best card on the deck in the Sultai version. We only have 2 copies of Silver Smoke Ghoul, and we only have 2 copies of Haunted Dead. So Prize Amalgam obviously comes back from the graveyard when you bring something back from the graveyard. Nice, whether that be Narcomoeba, the Scroungers, and then we also have Silver Smoke Ghoul, which, if you gain 3 or more life in a turn, return it from your graveyard to battlefield taps. The main way we have to do this in the deck is now just Creeping Chill. But that is fine, but because of that we're cutting a couple of copies here. And then we also have Haunted Dead, which is a one nice discard outlet to kind of dump extra Prize Amalgams or Scoungers or anything else that you've got like too many in your hand into your graveyard, returns to the graveyard to the battlefield, makes a spirit, and is a really good enabler for Prize Amalgam. And like if you get stuck with these in hand, then obviously having ways to get rid of them is nice. Obviously, Creepy Chill, which I mentioned, 3 damage to each opponent, you gain 3 life. I guess the second best card on the deck. Prize Amalgam is just a house, but yeah, when you mill it, you can exile it, and if you do, 3 damage to each opponent, you gain 3 life. It's free, it's great. Enables Silver Smoke Ghoul, does a bunch of damage, means your opponent starts life total on like 14. And then the mana base is very, very straightforward. Because we're trying to play 3 colors, we're not really messing around with any utility lands. Simply 4 Darkslick Shores, 4 Blooming Marsh, 4 Botanical Sanctum. The deck really is all 3 colors because you have these black and green spells here, and a 1-drop in green that you want to cast, and then 4 mana complements kind of holding everything together. The sideboard, we've got 4 copies of Fatal Push, dealing with problematic creatures. We have 2 copies of Witherbloom Command. Sorry, they're kind of split up here, but hey. Obviously, post-board, you need answers to Rest in Peace. That makes sense. Spell Pierce, kind of on a similar note. Like Fatal Push, like if they're playing like Scavenging users, things like Thalia, which can slow you down a lot, Fatal Push is really, really good there. Obviously also aggro can be solid. Spell Pierce either versus combo or like spell-based decks like Control, where they're going to be bringing in spell-based Graveyard Hate, or you just want some counter spells to interact with their combo. And then for our own Graveyard Hate, we have 3 copies of Ashiok Dream Render. Upside here, spells and abilities opponent's control can't cause the controller to search the library. It's already good versus Enigmatic Incarnation, but this ability here to mill, you can mill yourself while exiling your opponent's graveyard, which is awesome. So Ashiok is really, really nice for this deck. And then we've got 2 copies of Assassin's Trophy, kind of just a catch-all. Obviously, it gives your opponent a land, but sometimes you just need to get something killed. And so, Assassin's Trophy in the board too. Going to take this into some ranked games. If you're not ready, please do subscribe to the channel. 82% of you are not subscribed. I think that's what I'm going to say. But I'd really appreciate it. Trying to get to 500. Yeah, let's hop into some ranked games. Alright, in with match number 1. I should also say, I'm a little under the weather, so do bear with me. March of the Machines is out very, very soon. There's some interesting Explorer pieces. Not too many. I don't want to get people's hopes up too much, but there's some really nice cards. That first time, I obviously had no lands. This is very awkward because we can't cast any of the spells, so we're going to mulligan to 5. Now, as we can see here, Dredge actually does operate on like resources quite well. We're gonna keep this and just return to these lands. And we actually have a really powerful start. The other one we gaze into Founding Grizzly Salvage is pretty much this is the best 5-card hand we can pretty much get. I should say we've been pretty fortunate here. So we'll see what our opponent is on. Firstly on the play, which may bode well. Attacking Founding, I'm not happy to see. I'm going to main phase this Otherworldly Gaze. Do I want to draw a Willow Geist? I'm going to bin the Narcomoeba. The Otherworldly Gaze gives us a second thing to cast off of. I think I draw the Otherworldly Gaze. And then we Grizzly Salvage, we maybe end up taking the Willow Geist off the Grizzly Salvage. So we'll leave both of these on top, actually. It feels a little weird, but we're going to do it. Sometimes you just want to churn through as many cards as possible, but here, I think the upside of Willow Geist on turn 3. So we're not going to have a third land, necessarily. We'll see how it goes. See how it goes. Play it by ear a little. Opponent, Abzan Colors, would appear to be Greasefang, but they've not played a 1... They didn't play anything on 1. It's definitely Greasefang. What am I talking about? Yeah, there's the Witherbloom command. That is all fine. So we're going to go ahead and Founding, Grizzly Salvage. We are on the clock, though. I didn't check to see. They did mill a Chariot. That's fine. We're going to put this on 1 and go ahead and Grizzly Salvage from our hand. So, third line is not up to much at all. What's on a graveyard? Sorry. We have other Willy Goes to flashback, which will trigger this. But I think we maybe just need to get the Stitch Supplier and just put as many cards in the graveyard as fast as possible. If that makes any sense. Yeah, we got a pretty slow start. Again, they're on a Chariot at the moment. You have to kind of assume that they have one part of the combo. They've not obviously got the Vitality in the graveyard, but we kind of have to play as if they're going to have Greasefang and be able to finish it off pretty quickly. There's a Greasefang. We'll see here. People complain about the Hammer deck. And like, oh, I don't like turn 2 kills on the format. But Greasefang is more consistent. And, yeah, I don't know. I think it's fine. It is just frustrating to play against. Here we're not even dead. But, we're on the ropes. We're in trouble. What do we want to flashback here? Probably the Otherworldly Gaze. We do a turn between now and then. Okay, that's nice. We're getting all these Silver Moat back. So we can either Founding. We can either Founding Otherworldly Gaze here, or we can Supplier Otherworldly Gaze. I think we want blockers on the ground. Boots on the ground gameplay. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to go ahead and fire off the Gaze now. So we're going to be triggering that price bug anyway. If we leave salvage on top, we want land. So next turn we can go. Next time we'll be going flashback, grizzly salvage, and then plus. I think I just want to mill these two, and we can draw the Blooming Blast. We've got the third land. That's fine. All right, and all of a sudden we have a game on our hands, as long as they don't have a Parhelion that they can put in their graveyard. The Dredge deck can turn the corner quite quickly. Obviously, putting 12 power into play this turn, but we are a little slow in the kind of combo mirror. AG. Alright, nothing imperative here. It might be they take a mistake. No, Informant. They've not seen another way to discard a Parhelion, so maybe they have one. They still have a land drop available. But Excelsior Courtyard. But we kind of have to imagine that they may have next turn. I forgot about us wanting to block. It would have been very reasonable to... this at least has a good chance of finding a land. Or will I pay this? Alright. Creepy chill. We're gonna find this. We chill him down. There's no vortex at 16. We can do 9 here. The most valuable thing we can do is try and Domus for as many cards as possible. So I'm gonna Stitch a Supplier away. It's an Alchemy, but that can block, play some interference. Okay. Let me fire this off, and then play towards trying to find either... Well, make them have to double take their attack. If they have a Parhelion, obviously we're just lights out. But... 10, 14, 18. We get to block one of them. Oh, they have to tap some stuff. I think we actually land on 16. Because they can crew with this and one of these. Oh, that's actually really good for us. If they did that the other way around, I think we'd die. Tifa. Yeah, here we actually land on 2. They're going to swap these 2 around and then this end on 0. Not to say that we're out of the woodwork, but we're going to get some chances to try and find a couple of Creeping Chills to finish them off. Oh, unless they have a Witherbloom command. Please do not have Sandbag a Witherbloom command and have... Okay. Alright. Yeah, if they just simply tap the Informant plus Cat, then they can attack the Greasefang and then we're dead. So I put a stop here so we can Otherworldly Gaze on my upkeep. How many cards do we get to see? I think we should do this. And fire this off. There's one thing we're looking for. Gritty Salvage is not going to do better than seeing Card of Founding. Draw. We drew a Creeping Chill, so we can't hit it. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. They for sure throw the Raffine's Informant under the bus, right? We get 1 Flying Blocker from a Haunting Dead. We're definitely dead. For fun, I'm going to Otherworldly Gaze and see the other ones in the top 2 cards of our deck. It's not. Alright. Let's go to game 2. So, for Greasefang, we have some Ashyoks. The thing about Ashyok, it's reasonable 8. But, and I'm going to actually cut these with the Boon commands. They don't really do anything here. They're not going to be bringing Rest in Peace because they have better things. They can bring in the... Why is it? running? Why is it running away from me? The 2-mana vehicle that exiles. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. But they have creatures to crew that, which makes it less of a thing to bring the Boon Commands in for. We're not bringing Fatal Pushes. We have no real answer for Greasefang apart from these trophies that we're putting in. And in this case of what are we cutting? We can't really afford to be that. We need to be as fast as possible, basically. And so I think the Scroungers come out. And then I think I'm tempted to cut a Haunted Dead, because if we're discarding to Haunted Dead, we're losing the game. Alright, let's try it. We can trophy off the Founding as well. Woo. Yeah, Greasefang a little bit of a tough one. The thing with Dredge is that against fair decks you're doing really, really well, but against combo you can be a little behind. Alright, well, if this is a blue land, this would probably be keepable, but it isn't, and Supply does not find us a land. I've not talked about like why not say a Wayfinder. With this version, the bug version in the deck, because these, like Ghostly Salvage, Boon Command are quite good, you still do want Founding. Founding still does a really good job of holding everything together. Okay. Do we keep the land, or do we keep the... I think this is the keep. I have some faith, actually. We're going to keep the Otherworldly Gaze over one of these Dark Sexuals. And we will... Yeah. So, say if we find that while it's quite good because we're playing Scrappy Scrounger, like I have a black-green version of the deck, which I don't think is actually good enough to play Scrounger and... Huh. That's not a land, but we're going to cast a Ghostly Salvage. They play Scrounger with Geist and tries to kind of go off that way. But that has Seat Wayfinder, because you just need a critical mass for enablers, and without the blue cards you start to struggle quite quickly. Vessel, so they are on the Traverse build. We will go ahead and salvage here. We want to find a land. It's not a land. It is 2 Creeping Shells, which is, you know, kind of cool. Alright. Me saying the Otherworldly Gaze will find us a land and we don't have to keep one is not aging very well. I'll be honest with you. We have 18 lands, which is more than I play on the blue-black version. But if you're playing 3 colors, I think you really need to be consistent. Well, you don't... The blue-black version is very streamlined, I guess is what I'm saying. You can't take as many... You can take more risks there, because you're not taking risks on like the colors you're playing. Alright, we're going to say go. We're holding up Assassin's Trophy for the Greasefang, and also Otherworldly Gaze. Which, you know, is reasonable. There's the Unlicensed Test. This is what I was thinking of before. But these trophies do also answer that. That is okay. Amazing how to do this now. If I do this now, what are they exiling? Prized Amalgam, Otherworldly Gaze? The other upside is that if we flashback the Otherworldly Gaze, we find a land, and then our land lets us nuke their graveyard. And then we can play, quote-unquote, the game. Which I think is actually better. They can't exile this in response to slashing it back. It's already exiled at this point. Oh, no! Oh my gosh. I just clicked through that. I'm gonna cry. Well, we have an extra Ashiok. Oh dear. We had the land and everything. Alright. They're gonna extra couple of cards, so we kind of have to give them their main phase. At least next time we can just exile their graveyard and then don't have to worry about them instantly greasefanging us. I panned out so horribly. Alright. Well, they're feeding here, so we should be fine. Blow up the hearse now, and then carry on. Alright, they just got to land. Okay. Maybe they have lots of really, really good cards. I'm gonna go ahead and fire off the trophy. Ah, I feel bad. Clicking things. I'm okay at Magic. I am very mediocre at actually using the arena client. Sort of. I did win a game with 5 seconds left on the clock. If you haven't checked out the Atraxa Delirium video, that's got a pretty interesting one in it. It's up to now, they get to attack this, but it still does the job. With 3 out of 4 creeping chills. Looking through this was so bad. It's a I think I played it well until that point. Just mechanical error. It's a skill issue, as the people say. Attacking it for 2 is strange.
A little too real for me.
Ah, that makes sense.
I aspired for more.
You have nothing in that graveyard either. In Grizzly Salvage, again, can find us a land. We make the Ashock, it's just going away straight away again. We do have a status trophy for the Sky Sovereign, but priority has to be trying to... Let's think about it. They've got nothing in the graveyard. We hit 2 Pioneers. 1, 2. We're on 23. It's on 6. The actual answer is that if we take one of these, they just attack us with a boat and kill it. So we should do this. And then I think we do just end step kill the boat. They can't just straight up crew it at least. Right, they're gonna go see salvage. They have Liliana in the deck still. This is our deck trying to put creatures in the graveyard. You can never uptick this. Well, you can, but it's actively bad, I think. That one is a thing. Does the post board lose their game plan? Which is what's going to happen. Gonna go ahead and shoot the Sky Sovereign. That can now crew the Escachart, but yeah, I don't think it's going to. We take 4 to 17, untap. I'm going to set a stop in our upkeep. We can think about whether we want to otherworldly gaze. We can... Hardcast Haunted Dead is rough. By the way. They also could have a Greasefang in hand. Which is not unreasonable. I think the upkeep of the Otherworldly Gaze is our best shot for actually getting anywhere. Because we want to try and find a good card. I think we just have to mill through all these. As I don't think we have time for Willow Guy stuff right now, or anymore. I just not had time to cast it. It's a bit too late. What do we draw? We have a chance. That is actually the best land we could have drawn, in spite of us doing 3 damage to us here. Let's play the game. Okay. And they're at 8. We're at least in the mix now. They're under pressure to tap the Ice Shot down. We can put something in front of it. We have an Alchemy, we have a blocker. That's alright. They can nearly hard cast. Oh. That's the second vote. It's not over yet. It's not time to be singing that. Alright. Don't you want to hold stuff back to block with? Ash goes away. Bad playing off the top. Podcast Haunting Dead is not really where the deck wants to be. But hey, don't be disheartened, we will be playing another ranked game after this. Ah. The backup pass is the deadliest. The worst bit is there's not really anything for it to eat right now. No, that's not a bad top deck. Two kind of options. We obviously don't have anything to cast. We can mill ourselves. I think mill ourselves, and then going to. We'll see. Kind of just playing a losing game here. Let's see what we hit at least. Give ourselves a fair chance. 2 Narcomoebas. Those can both get eaten. Not ideal. Are they gunny? I think I might concede and save us all some time. We've done it a couple of times, but they have everything they need to just keep blowing us out of the water. Even the flashback of a Assassin's Trophy here isn't really going to get it done. Because this guy's over. The boat's killing us. Anyway, and it's not like we have creeping chills left on our deck to show them with they've all been exiled. That's why they're on 8. Yeah, I'm gonna pick it up. All right. GG's. I'll play one more. See you in the next match. And the top ranked team this season is Sultai Dredge. Again, the Blooming Marshes are a tad awkward, but would be fine if we had a blue land. Oh, I'm gonna mulligan. Ah. If you don't like mulliganing, play best of 1. It fixes the cards for you. This is 5. I think it's fine. We've got 3 enablers effectively. We can't be unhappy with this. I'll lead with the Secret Keeper, because that puts the most cards in the graveyard. And then we'll see where we are from there. I'm not afraid to just supply it next turn and then cast the with me command the turn afterwards. As it happens, it's kind of on double duty here. I'm actually going to cast the Secret Keeper first. So we have double Amalgam in the yard. This is kind of where you wish, oh, I wish this was a Sovereign's Bite. But now we'll draw a card and be able to bring that Haunted Dead. And with 2 price Amalgams in the graveyard, that's not too bad. Yeah. There's a Sovereign's Bite. We can bring back the Ghoul, that triggers everything. This Thought Seize is actually brutal. We drew an Narcomoeba. We will attack for 1. And I am going to cast both of these. We'll put it on the wall. We'll start building it. Get it in now. Yeah, so we've seen double Haunted Ridge, which obviously implies black-red mid-range. Triple Haunted Ridge. There you go. Eventually, if you draw enough of them, they'll enter battlefield on tap. They know what's up. This one I kind of want to cast. I would normally play this, but because we're kind of on this plan, and also they can blow up with the Harvester, I'm going to off it. Would not make this attack if we didn't have block for the Blood Harvester anyway. They've just got no reason to attack with us. Oh, okay. Is it getting stomped? Have they got main deck Brotherhoods? It is getting stomped. That is a fair enough way to spend the turn. I was waiting for the extra Thoughtseize. I think it is much safer for us to pitch these than it is for me to play the Citrus Supplier. We can get both of these, like, we have the nuts here effectively, but we'd be so far away from bringing this Haunted Dead back. I'm going to do this again. I'm going to set a stop at the end of our opponent's second main to activate the Haunted Dead, so that the prize amalgams come back on their end step and not on ours. Give us the most amount of time. The downside to this is that your opponent then can then do things in their main phase, which is what we kind of saw last game a little bit. But yeah, we'll make this attack. You can tell we lost. If we didn't lose the first match, I'd definitely be just jamming these and just praying we got there. But you know, gotta try to hold it together a little bit. Is this a second stomp? Is this what we're? Is this where we are? Is this what the world's come to? Hey, second stomp is great. It successfully ground through the wall of Secret Keepers. It'd almost be a 2-for-1 if Bunkers Giant wasn't also free. But I guess if they don't cast them, they don't count as real cards. We're going to go ahead and activate this. I'm going to play against the one person with Cling to Dust in their main deck. In black, well, playing Cling to Dust in black red at all, actually. But, yeah. Very nice. And all of a sudden, we have the squad. That is maybe one of the best draws we could have had. Now I am going to leave the Stitch Supply. Are we? 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This puts them within Creeping Chill range, so I think we should do that. And then we can fire for the top 4 cards. See if we hit. Still incentivized to do this, especially because we have the Price Amalgam in the graveyard. Why not just hit everything? Knock Amoeba. Creeping Chill. They would have been dead. Yeah, they're just conceding. Alright. Well, that is how the deck is supposed to play out. Well, this is black-red. So, they have some interesting close things. But, like Hearse, they have less creatures than Greasefang. So these commands to deal with Hearse are reasonable. I expect them to have Hearse and maybe, like, not tons of other graveyard. I've seen a lot in some cases before. I played a paper tournament where my opponent had like 2 Hearses, 2 copies of Hidetsugus, and like ley lines as well. It wasn't ley line. What was the the 2-mana exile creatures from play? That's, to be fair. Oh well, it was residing in the main decks, but they've gone more backbuster now. The trophies are a nice catch-all. The Ashok's an interesting one because our opponent doesn't actually have good ways to attack them unless they have like the blood. Like they don't have very good 2-mana creatures basically, and so this often gets in free. But one thing is that if we're not doing anything, they can just make a Bunkers Giant on turn 3. But we just should, if they're just being able to just cast Bunkers Giant on turn 3, unless they're just having to cast it because that's the only way they're surviving, we're already kind of losing the game. We're in that kind of position again. I am gonna cut the ghouls. We don't have that many ways to bring them back. Obviously, we've got commands and stuff, but hey. I'm not even entirely sold on bringing extra copies of this in. We have answers for Hearse already. I also might just bring in 2 Ashioks. Just saying. 2. I like these because Fatal Push actually isn't good here. Prized Amalgam's the like thing you want to target down and kill, and that's 3 mana. And yeah, I like Scrounger. It's so tempting to just cut a couple of copies of what I'd done. You can cast Greasefang. What should we do? I think this is actually the correct answer. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. If they leave in Fatal Push, then we should board out the 1-drop. Because it costs us too much in playing it to justify it. Like playing that instead of like Otherworldly Gazing. This hand is interesting because we've only got blue-green mana here, but we've got the Otherworldly Gaze to find a black land, and also we can cast this into Scrappy Scrounger. We have at least a couple of spells active already. Let's see how the match actually plays out. They've mulled to 6, so maybe they were looking for Graveyard Hate. It immediately found a 1-drop. I'm actually going to jam Stitch Supplier in early and hold the Otherworldly Gaze because we already have everything we quote-unquote need for the time being, and so we can use this to dig for something we need later. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and attack the Supplier. They've not shown us anything yet. I just presume they're holding up a stomp. They've not stomped this, and so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to Otherworldly Gaze We're going to target us, and we're going to target the supply. So we're going to target us to mill 3 and pick up a land, and we'll target our own Stitcher supplier to put it in the bin. Okay, we got Darkslick Shores, and we mill a couple extra cards here. There's a prize amalgam there, but nothing else going. But it does mean the Scrap Heap Scrounger is likely to do something useful in a bit. Okay, go blank is rough. We just picked up some extra lands, which I will happily pitch. I actually probably want to pitch the Sanctum over the Darkslick Shore. And we do still have some fuel left, because we hold on to this other one of the gates, so... props to us, I suppose. I'll guess this, because I want to... Otherworldly Gaze. Do I want it straight away? I think so. If they kept in double go blank, we're in a rough position. 1, 2, 3. I'm pretty set on casting Prize Amalgam next turn. The turn after that, we're going to want... no, we can flash them back from the graveyard. I think we should just dig for more cards. Oh well, dig 3 more cards. Alright. We can say that for the end step, but we actually bordered them out. In general, as just a piece of advice with Dredge, Silvermote Ghoul doesn't trigger on your opponent's turn. And so we bordered them out here actually, so we could have just helped us. Founding is interesting. I think I still want to do this, and then on our upkeep we can Otherworldly Gaze to try and find something to Founding with. I'm going to go ahead and attack with this, I feel fine about that. But yeah, because Silver Smoke Ghoul doesn't trigger your opponent's turn, generally you want to mill yourself on your turn where possible. Obviously, if you hit Creeping Chill in your graveyard, if you hit Creeping Chill when you've got Silvermote in your graveyard, or like hit both of them, then it doesn't trigger on your opponent's turn, but it does on yours. And hey, you think it doesn't happen that often, but milling like either like knocking you plus Prized Amalgam in 1 3-card mill, or milling Silvermote Ghoul or Creeping Chill is actually not that uncommon. Alright, Prized Amalgam in the graveyard, Scrappy Scrounger there as well. We've got this upkeep set, we're still going to go ahead and do this. Are we? I think actually... Oh, we're not going to have the Scrappy Scrounger in that graveyard, I don't think. I imagine they'll get rid of it, because it brings the... Okay, sorry. Getting rid of it and not the Prized Amalgam is a bit strange, where the Prized Amalgam is the only creature in the graveyard. But, you know, I respect it. Okay. This triggers Prized Amalgam. Oh, I kind of like just keeping all of these and playing the Willow Geist out. Is that crazy? Nah, it ain't crazy. It's Jay-Z. No, I'm so sorry. Alright. Main... Unfortunately, this isn't big enough to survive Stomp yet, but it could be soon. Yeah, I think not exiling the Prized Amalgam just was a mistake. They have the Blood Tide Harvester kind of semi-lock, as it were. I might Otherworldly Gaze and Upkeep again. Because if we don't find anything, we can Otherworldly Gaze with the Founding of the Third Path. We might want to find like an Assassin's Trophy or a removal spell to deal with this. One of these. Disrupt what they're doing here. I can always think about it. Oh, I didn't do what I wanted to do. Alright. I think given the Kiki-Jiki Blood Harvester state of things... Narc Amoeba. So you cast this next turn? Or are we Founding this turn? I think we Founding this turn. We can make them at least think about, oh, do they have the Stomp? I guess they can't Stomp because we can respond with other Gaze. Gaze now. It's still maybe worth holding on to the Founding and just gazing this time. I want to attack both of these. I want to attack all 3 of these because they're going to have Blood Tide Harvester Reflection on next time. We'll see what they do. We can still pump this with a Geist by flashing back. That's fine. I am going to cast this now to maximize our damage. This is pretty strong. This goes to Graveyard. I need to make sure I've got the stop center upkeep as well. Oh yeah, I haven't done the matters. 3, 4, 5. It's a lot. And they go to 2 here. Ah! Alright, Reflection gone. They kept the Blood Tide Harvester around. Yeah, I kind of thought we were both all blocks. They can go odd. But we have two 2/2s floating around. This does exile, which is, you know, annoying. They're gonna pop it, reduce our clock down. Maybe this is really strong. Obviously, they know they've got the Hive Tyrant, the Hive Tyrant, Hive Tyrant coming. No, the Tyranids, they're out to get us. I'm gonna go ahead and flash out one of these. Again, we can either find something for our founding, or Ashiok's not a bad one to draw. Think about resources still available. Oh well, I think Ashiok's better to draw than the Willow Geist at this point. Just because they will have a bunch of active answers for this. Most information as possible. Oh. Well, the Witherloom command actively speeds up our clock. Is it a fatal push? Is that just the last card? Very funny. Okay. We have lethal next turn. If their card is like Sheoldred, they get to blood. No, okay, all right. I was thinking they maybe have Sheoldred and then can cash in the blood tokens to gain some life. Oh, this does not do it. We'll still do it off the founding, just in case. Use the right modes. Target opponent, target creature on that. Boom. I think we get there. Yay. Alright. So we lose to Greasefang, beat Red-Black. It's just fair. Deck does beat Red-Black fairly consistently. Sometimes they bring in quite a lot of hate. Obviously the Hursts here did a decent amount, but some amount of hate we can play through. That's kind of our job post-board. The entire point of Dredge is to win game 1 and then struggle out games 2 and 3 and try and grab one of them by being able to interact with your opponent's hate. But hey, hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do like, subscribe, all that stuff. Let me know if you're interested in seeing more builds of the deck. Oh, very quickly, occasionally people ask me what you should play in Historic. You get access to Glimpse from the Unthinkable, Glimpse of the Unthinkable, which is incredible. 2 mana, mill 10. You can play it off the Founding. It's sick, because then you get to flash it back off Founding, and all of a sudden you mill 24 cards, which is half your library. Other than that, I've tried out Lingering Souls, I think it's fine, but I do think Blue-Black is just the best version to go. There are just so many good tools. And so, hey, Lingering Souls is okay, but I'm currently playing 2 copies. Not very many. Just to say, hey, you can flash it back and get a couple of spirits from your graveyard. It's pretty nice, but not stellar. The power level of the format's much higher. But yeah. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. Peace out. Have a great day.